Hello everyone and welcome to Brett's Play. I am going to be playing through Pang Adventures today and showing you off what this is. As you can hear, the sound effects are very enthusiastic. That is what I'm doing. I'm obviously turning down the music just so you can hear my beautiful voice a tiny bit better, because I'm not the kind of man who likes to shout. So what is Pang Adventures? Pang Adventures is a remaster, basically, of the Pang games. Or more of a reimagining, I suppose. It's not really changing everything from the Pang games. It's still very much about bursting some bubbles in a 2D plane as you run back and forth. They've thrown in the fact that it's all about an alien invasion and, you know, you're trying to save the world, basically, as part of the Pang brothers. It's a cute game. I've completed the main story, and overall it's pretty good. I've played through the story in co-op, and it took us probably quite a few hours to get through. It's definitely a puzzle game that will annoy you at first, and it can take a while to get used to it, but the way it teaches you is quite nice. You sort of slowly make sense of everything you're against. He says whilst nearly dying on the first level that he's completed 1,000 times. So obviously, it's all about bursting bubbles, and as you can see in this level, the bubbles bounce fairly standard. It's a slow way to ease you into the game so you understand what's happening. This mode I'm playing is a mode you get once you've completed the story mode. It's basically you have 3 lives and then you're out mode, which is the traditional way that Pang used to be before all these changes. So let's try and burst some bubbles, eh? One more to go. As you can see, there are certain level ups and weapons you can pick up in the game. You discover more in later stages, and you figure out their uses fairly quickly. So the one I've just got gives me another arrow. And yeah, fairly simple. Keep going forward. It may not seem very interesting at the moment. That's because it's obviously the first stage, really. It's not at this moment where it's going to actually be interesting just yet. I am after some power-ups before I start anything, though. I'm not going to get them here, am I? So as you can see, it's fairly straightforward. Fire the arrows, try to kill everything, and you can obviously run away as you fire. There's no fancy rolls or anything like that. You just sort of get used to the way it plays, though. It plays very much like it's, well, the game is based on Pang, and because of that it's quite easy to pick up, even for gamers that may not play that much. It's fairly simple to understand. So as you can see, you have crabs in the game. Crabs are great for just helping to deal with balls sometimes. As you can see, not actually having to do anything here. One thing that I have noticed in this mode, it appears that you don't have to worry about at time at any point. It's all about just trying to keep alive, which is a bit different. It's a different way of playing the game. In the tour mode, that is the main bulk of the game, at least when you're beginning. It's all about time trials and trying to do things as quick as possible. So I want to obviously see these crabs, get as many of these things as possible. Let's also try and unlock as much as possible whilst we're at it. So see if the crabs can do anything for me. One more ball left, and the crabs are going to be the ones dealing with it. So at the moment, fairly low stress, not much to worry about. Keep in mind, as I said, I have completed the main story, which is about just shy of 100 levels. So I very much know what to be expecting. As you notice, in some situations you end up with the balls bouncing much closer to you and much lower, which means that you have to sort of change your style of attack. If I didn't have the gun now, I'd very much be firing up the arrow then running away to make sure that I'm not about to get hit. What level is this? Oh, it's this level. Okay, this is quite an interesting level, and not the easiest, might I add. So let's do that and hope I can let the crabs go do most of the damage. Yeah, that's what I wanted to happen. Awesome. So yeah, as you can see, they're gonna... Whoa! Run away, run away, run away. They have dealt with that, leaving me just this to deal with. Which, if I fire them down there, I've never actually had the chance to look into what all of those had actually to offer. Normally, because you've got the time constraints, you don't normally go after all of them. You're focusing on the bubbles, whereas this is all about the points. So what do we do here? We get the minigun and we fire the shit out of that, and we lose. Whoa! As you can see, it's starting to get tougher. But luckily, with only 2 left, it's going to be fairly easy to figure out what to do. Bada bing, bada boom, there you go. So as you can see, not all levels are as straightforward as you may think. Wasted. Ah, there we go. Okay, so my aim here is to be firing through the gaps and trying to get the last few remaining balls, which I've done, which takes me on to day 11 in Bora Bora, which is making me closer and closer, and as you can see, you're about to see a new power-up here. He says as he runs away, here you go. So, time has gone down. Freezes time, allows you the time to kill everything. Which I didn't make the most of, if I'm honest. Should be doing much better than that in these situations. But never mind, you really have to make the most of your freeze times, especially when there's situations where there's giant balls. You don't always have the luxury of being able to quite easily deal with it. Ah, sugar, this could be it. Somehow kept that going. Don't fully know how. Just got a shield there, which was very lucky. And it looks like I'm probably in the clear. I am. But as you can see, the levels are starting to get harder, and there's definitely a difficulty curve that raises a reasonable rate. And then you get levels like this where it's a case of you've got to really think through where it is you want to place that first arrow. As you can see, there's lots of balls here. I don't want to be freeing too many of them at once, so my tactic would be probably to figure out what to drop first, which would be this one. As you can see, didn't free anything, thus leaving me with the chance to then take out these. Fairly straightforward. And that's the end of those. Then you've got to pick out where you go next. That would drop that one. That would drop two, which you don't want. You don't want to be dropping two at once. So let's go for this. And there you go. Now I've got two of these. Means that I can deal with this much quicker. So whilst we are waiting, let's think through which one to go for next. So obviously these are going to drop two small ones, but I've already got rid of the big one up there, so let's try and see this through as quick as possible. It may seem strange to be terrified of some bouncing balls, but that's just the rules of the game. You know that if you get hit, you're gone, so you don't want that. Might as well get rid of that because it's going to bug me if I don't. Boom. Straightforward, get everything we want. Get quite a lot of scores. And then we go into this level, and sometimes you'll get this levels that seem like they're really difficult, whereas actually it's just about thinking what it is you actually want to do. So obviously in this situation I want to be making sure that the crabs are dealing most of the damage here. And as you can see, that's all of them gone fairly straightforward there. Helps obviously that I've played this level before, that I know what to do. Sorry, not talking. Dodge, dodge, dodge. I used to play this quite... I have some very fond memories of playing this as a kid. So I may be a bit Twitch reaction there in knowing what to do. So as you can see, that's Bora Bora done. We're off to Death Valley, but wait! We are interrupted on our journey. And what are we interrupted by? Why, it's a boss fight. And what are the boss fights? Well, they're aliens, obviously, because that's what we're dealing with in this situation. Duh. And they're aliens that are actually quite interesting. This gives you interesting tactics to sort of go for. It's nice. It adds a nice level of variety to the game. And if you're playing it in a two-player, you can also then focus on who goes after what, which is nice. And that's the great thing about playing it two-player, is it changes the way you play the game, and you don't always get that when you are playing puzzle games in co-op. Eesh, that was close. So yeah, I really recommend, if you've got a friend that's a fan of old school puzzle games like this, and even if they're not, check this out. It's really fun to play in co-op. I can't really do it justice. Boom. Obviously played this before, I knew what to go for there. And a lot of the bosses follow the same sort of formula, but it's a case of then figuring out what they do in their variation, or they'll always have some form of variation. Speaking of variation, you're about to see how the balls change in different levels. There's even more variety after this, but I won't be showing you it just because I'm going to die. Apparently, is the reason I'm not going to show you it. Eesh. I might actually be out this level inadvertently. I am out this level. This shit is... I was not expecting to lose all 3 of my lives on that. As you can see, you quickly lose things in this. It doesn't take much to change, but here we go with another weapon. Stupidly, I've got too soon. And this weapon is something that only fires in short bursts. Fuck. Which I have completely ballsed up again, because it only fires just in front of you. You sort of waste it if you do this, and I've more or less guaranteed that I'm not going to finish the level. Maybe I am, but I don't deserve to, because I've completely balls this up. It's always that when it's at its hardest, I find, is when you're trying to just get the last few balls. But there you go, obviously we've got the all clear. Considering I am now on last level, you're gonna see variations. So as you can see, bombs blow up stuff. No. That was close. There we go. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you think that you'll know what's going to happen, and turns out you don't have a Scooby. No. Okay. Aha, got a one up there. Wasn't expecting it, but very much something that is I'm going to benefit from. As you can see, it's going to be unlucky that I survived this. I've trapped myself in the corner here. Gone. But that is Pang Adventures, or one of the modes at least in Pang Adventures. You can play through that once you obviously complete tour mode. if you're wondering how much is in tour mode, you've got quite a bit. Let's quickly show you. So obviously there's spoilers, but it's a puzzle game. It's not really big spoilers, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages, which all are about 15. You then levels each. You've then got boss battles. Later stages have variations of not just weapons, but also of the way the balls work. You have to start mixing up how you play it. You can't just stand there static every time you're firing, because they will actually impede you if you do. Another mode that you have, which is the final mode in the game, is panic mode. And what is panic mode? Panic mode is just an endless stream of balls coming at you, and you've got to try and keep alive. It's a simple puzzle game idea, you know, an endless mode, but it's one that works. It keeps you on your toes, and I'm obviously trying to just sort of show you a flavour of it at the moment, rather than trying to actually play through the game properly. At least that's my excuse as to why I'm playing so fucking shit. I've obviously wasted all my talent from completing the main game yesterday. But yeah, when you're playing through this, you have these podiums that come up and ask you to protect them. These give you extra points, which are handy to get. And obviously the timers work better in this. Oh my god! Stars blow everything up. There's various things that do various things basically, and as you can see, you get a variety of balls. It's not just the type that you... It's not just one stage's version of the balls. And it means that you're on your toes throughout the whole time. You don't really know what's going to happen next, and then you sort of get that hint of what's happening in the top corner. Sugar, 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 sugar. And there we go, with another level up. You sort of, it can get overwhelming at times in terms of what it is you're trying to keep your eyes on. Sometimes you'll be keeping your eyes on the balls in the sky, sometimes you'll be keeping your eyes on your character, and it can be difficult to sort of know what's the best thing to be looking at. Obviously you want to be making sure that you're not getting hit by the balls. At the same time, you just got to sort of keep flitting back and forth between both things if you want to have a chance to keep it going. So that's the level up, and we still have 2 lives left, so let's see how that goes. As you can see, it's starting to get more and more intense now. We should be about, yep, I'm right, we now have a mixture of types of balls, and that's game over. Oh no, it's not, one more life. Nah, that's game over. As you can see, it's very stressful, it's very busy, but people like endless mode, and it's something different to the rest of the game. It adds longevity to the game, and the bulk of the game's longevity will be with how much you enjoy playing through it. If you can be bothered, obviously, trying to beat your high scores. I haven't noticed any form of online leaderboard, which... Oh no, there is. I take that back. There is such a thing as online leaderboards. So that's nice, you know. You can compete with your friends if they have it. as you can see, I am second in the score attack leaderboards. But unfortunately, it's only that that has any form of leaderboard. Talking shit again, aren't I? So as you can see, the person who's got the world score in panic mode has quite a bit more than I do. But, you know, I did better than the standard AI, so I'm happy with that. I think I've done a fairly good job. And you can play through all these modes in 2-player if you want to, making it a perfect game to sort of play with someone else. The 2-player is more forgiving than it has been in the past. You have a chance to revive your character if you get hit, basically, which means that, you know, this is actually a chance that you can carry on, which is good. It's nice. It's just a fun game to play with sort of anyone, really. Some people might not like the very old school way it plays. For me, maybe in part because I have the nostalgia, I quite enjoy it. But I played it with someone who has no nostalgia for the game and they really enjoyed it. So, I mean, so much so that they quite happily play through the whole thing without me really having to force them to do it. So, take of it what you will. I've obviously been playing it on PlayStation 4. I found it very easy to control. I wouldn't really want to play it on a phone. I imagine it would be quite fiddly, but I do know it's cheaper on phones. It's $7.99, I believe, on consoles. Some may find that a high price, but when you consider stuff like the arcade classics retail for that, and the fact that this is a reboot with various bells and whistles, if you play through the whole of the tour mode, that's several hours of gameplay. Then you've got all the things you might go back to play. It's easily worth $7.99. It's not one of those that is hard to figure out how it's justifying its cost. It's easily worth the money. It's just not everyone may feel like they want to pick it up for that, which is a shame. I hope a lot of people do pick this up. It's made by Pasta Games. They made Pix the Cat, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, you should really consider at least giving it a shot, giving it a look. And, you know, maybe you'll enjoy it. Who knows? Then you can look at all silly statistics like this. But yeah, hopefully this has helped you understand a bit more about what Pang Adventures is and how it differs from the original Pang games. I've been Brett Claxton, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much. Goodbye.